Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We have a Taylor 510 acoustic on the bench today. A couple of things are going on with it. Filthy, very highly used guitar. In fact, the customer told me it's his #1 guitar, and he does play it a lot. We're going to clean it up, we're going to restring it, we're going to set it up, but a little investigation. We got binding that's coming off, and I think it used to be an acoustic electric, but I think it's all disconnected. So let's get to work. Remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. Let's get centered. Here we go. Really dirty. Played a lot. Good customer. Him and his father bring me their instruments. This one has probably not been played in a little while, but he says it's his #1 guitar and he plays it a lot, and it shows. So first things first, we're going to get the strings off. I think I measured them before, but let's do it again because I work on so many guitars I forget. It has, yeah, it's got super light strings on it. I think we're going to put something just slightly heavier, give it a little more oomph. I'm going to check. Always first things first. I know this instrument sings, but let's see where we're at. It's got really low string action and a really tight neck. Further investigation is required. Why would it be like that? Where the string action is. Ooh, yeah, it's really low and tight. And it follows a nice course across the fretboard. It's about 5/64 here and about 4/64 here. That's really low for an acoustic. But if it doesn't buzz, we're golden. But I think it needs a truss rod adjustment, but we're going to do the setup first. Before we do that, we're going to clean it and string it, because I don't think we need to lower or raise the action, but we may need to adjust the string, the truss rod. So, yeah, no. So I'm going to de-string it. I will be back. Yeah, all the tuning machines are loose. Oh, that one sure is. I'm going to de-string it. I'll be right back. So it has a pickup underneath the bridge, and there is a jack, and they're wired together, but I don't know how this thing would make any sound. There's no preamp or any other wiring, and I see tape there like there used to be something in it. Don't know. But yeah, we're moving on, onward and upward, and the first thing I'm going to address is this nasty fretboard. It is just horrible, and I'm going to put it on there and let it soak a little bit, because damn, it's just filthy. I'll use that one, and this one, and this one, I'm sure. Wow, dirty guitar. clean it slightly, a little bit. Jeez, before I'm going to let that soapy water sit on, that cleaner sit on the fretboard a little bit. Because holy shnikes. I know there's a guitar under there somewhere. What the heck is this stuff? Something's on there. It's going to require a little more than that, I guess. Oh, it's actually a burn. It looks like a cigarette was sitting on there. Oh my God. Yeah, you never know what you're going to find. All right. Hopefully it loosened up all that guppy DNA. Yes, it did. Holy cow. There is so much stuff on this fretboard. It looks like it pulled it, it loosened it and pulled it right up though, most of it, 90% of it. Yeah. Oh boy. That is just some nastiness. Cleaned it. Now he also had a secondary complaint, and I see that the paper towels are getting caught. Said the strings are getting, every once in a while it'll flop off the edge of the fretboard. Now I looked at it and did a little bit of a checkout off camera with him. And what's happened is the frets are in off the fretboard a little bit, so the board is expanded or contracted, and the frets are actually sticking in, and there's just a little bit of a tang there. They're old and they're really thin, and I don't want to mess with them. I'm going to try one of them to see if I can get it to maybe take the it doesn't even feel rough. It's just there's a underneath it. Like I could literally put my finger under it and probably pull that fret out if I worked it a little bit. But I digress. I have a note here. I got to order polish, and I have to order boiled linseed oil. I'm almost out. Well, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to work these frets a little bit. Guys, stand by while I do this. You've seen this a million times. I'm going to do the fret eraser on the frets. They need it, and but I want to get to other things on this. We got loose binding, which I told them I probably can't do anything with it. We have missing binding. Can't do anything with that because I don't have any in the shop. And there's another one somewhere that's starting to loosen. So let me get after these frets. I'll be right back. So I'm coming down to the last pass with the fret erasers. I know it's instantaneous for you, but I did 3 steps. This guitar is going to need new frets. They're all like right there, and there's a lot of wear on them, especially up here in the money zone. But my recommendation is going to be play it until it's unplayable. But there's no way to fix that when they start lifting, because this tool is getting caught in it on every one almost. So I'm being extra careful. When that happens, you really can't fix it. And being as small as they are and as old as it is and the way they're worn, You have to weigh the cost of refretting it against the cost of the guitar, and the sentimental value comes into play on a guitar that you've had for, forever. Might have been in the family for a long, long time. So we'll talk with the customer about that. But today we're going to proceed. We did the fret polishing. We've cleaned the board. We're going to oil the board next. And maybe later on in this girl's life, she's going to get new frets. Who knows? Who knows? Beautiful instrument, though. We're going to really find out more about it once we start playing it. See, the fret ends are grabbing every time I look at all the paper towels are getting stuck in there. Trying not to do that because it makes a mess. But we got to get the oil on there. So this is going to bring it back to life, of course. And I'm putting it on pretty liberally. It seems like I've had a rash of really dry fretboards lately, where I really need to put the oil to it to bring it up to snuff. I'm going to pause, let it soak in, and then we're going to wipe it off. I don't want to take it off right away. So yeah, we got the board wiped off, and geez, there's little fluffies everywhere because the fret ends are pulling back and catching. And it's not that they're sharp, it's usually boards will contract, but there's definitely a space there where they were rounded off. None of them are pulling up. I'm not going to mess with them any more than I have to, because I think my recommendation would be to do a fret job on it. But that's a conversation for another time. Let's clean it, string it, and get it set up. Now, usually when I'm taking the oil off of the board, if it's an exposed or the same kind of material on the bridge, I take some of that and I wipe it on there because it pulls that back up to luster as well. Just another tip from your Uncle Blackjack. But if it's clear coated, don't bother. Interesting little guitar. Wondering about that electronics. At some point he must have pulled out the preamp. Unless it's got some sort of magical device in it. We're going to find out. I'm going to plug it in, but I know the answer. It's not going to play. Ooh, rough. It feels rough to the touch when I'm wiping it because it's so crusty. But then magically, once you clean it and give it a little love, it feels nice and smooth. Other than the character marks and stuff on it. A lot of dirt here. That is some work for, wow, you must do a lot of playing down here. Wow. The whole heel is covered in, the only thing I can say is probably sweat and oil and dead skin. I'm not going to take that off because he's probably, first of all, it'd be a hell of a lot of work to get it off. And secondly, he's probably used to it feeling like that. How the heck did all that? Well, he must really. I can see right where his hand goes around the heel, right there, and it's just absolutely covered. Gotta ask him about that. Don't usually see that sort of thing on an acoustic. But it would be a hell of a lot of work to get that stuff off of there. Probably more work than I'm willing to put into it today. And as far as the bindings go, we already talked about that, and he's going to be out of town for a couple of months. Maybe he's opening up for the Stones. I don't know. Up here too, a lot of stuff on the back of this neck. This guitar gets played a lot. But it is overdue for some cleaning. I'm going to pause quickly while I go over all the headstock, because that's going to take a little bit of extra work, and I got to tighten up everything there. It's got Grover tuners on it. Nice instrument. Stand by. So the only way to really clean when a headstock or this end gets really bad is you got to do a semi-restoration on it, which is pull all the tuning machines out and really get after it, because there's just too many things in the way. Wow, loose. Everything is loose, really loose. But we're not going to do that on this one unless we get the go-ahead from the customer at a later date. I think it's going to be fine the way it is. I cleaned it up a lot. I mean, it really is standing tall now compared to what it was, all things considered. The idea is to get it playing and get it playing well and get it set up. And that is our next objective. Measure to the next tuner, bend it, stop at the bend. First wrap above the hole, every other wrap below it. If you have the room, you want 3 wraps there. And we do. And I want to pop that string up higher. There we go. Sometimes the low E doesn't like to pull up like it should. Really close. This thing's gonna play like a monster. I love it. So you follow that procedure. E, A, D, G, E, E. I will be back. 2 seconds. Well, a split second for you. So beautiful. It's really holding nicely too. Beautiful, beautiful sounding guitar. got some age on it. That's okay. Yeah, staying in tune nicely. I really do want to check the neck relief again. Let's see where our string height is. I think the neck relief is just too straight, but it's too tight. But he says got good string height. Got really good string height. I don't know. I like this instrument, but I just want to check because I can, and I'm a nut that way. I'm not going to change it though, I can tell you, no matter what. It's just a little tight, and normally I would open it up and bring that from 5/64, which is where it's at, and then it ends up around 4/64 on the treble side, a little bit taller. That's really good action for an acoustic guitar. Normally I would open it up and get just a little bit more string action, but I'm going to leave it because he knows how he likes to play his instrument. If he doesn't like the way it feels, I can always open it up later. You don't always have to adjust the truss rod, and if you don't have to, don't. And it depends on measurement and playability. You know? You follow? Thing's holding tune nice. Yeah. Well, she's in a lot better shape than she was. I have a few extra minutes. I'm going to, off camera, I am going to see if I can't do something with this loose, wonky. It's on the bottom side, so it's where you would have it if you were sitting with the guitar in your lap. It's going to continue. It's pulling away here and here and here, and it already pulled away and broke off there. And you'll notice it's in the horn. It's in the curvature of the body, and in all places, and that's from shrinkage. The wood shrinks, but the binding doesn't. Against my better judgment, I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to push it down in there and see if we can't get it to at least this portion right here to stay. I might not. I don't know. I gotta think about it for a minute. Nice guitar. I like it. It's Blackjack with 396 guitars. We did the full Monty on this guitar, and it needed it. It needed a setup. It needed a restring, and it needed to be cleaned and paid attention to. I think ultimately, this guitar, the complaint of the sharp or pulling up fret ends, the only way to fix that, really fix it, is to change all the frets, do a fret job on it. And I don't think it needs that. I don't want to do that now. I say play it until it can't play anymore, and then we'll deal with it. We'll talk soon. Remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe.